Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Level Lock Podcast, episode 112.
Ooh,
Ooh, woo is indeed. It's me and Mark today, James and Mark, the James and Mark Show. Uh,
hey,
we don't really have a whole lot, so probably not going to be talking too much. We got a few things that I could pump out real quick. So,
yeah, me too, pretty much.
oh yeah, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a whole lot announced. We have a lot of things announced. Uh, we have a new Nintendo Switch. We had a Sony State of Play. We have uh some Raid Shadow Legends announcement. We have a new Valve thing coming out that they're probably gonna stop supporting in 3 months.
The Valve Nintendo Switch.
The Valve Switch. Oh my god, that's what they should have called it. The Valve Switch. All right, hey Mark, how have you been?
Hanging in there. Uh, Life's just been really busy more than anything else. It's
Mm-hmm.
primarily why I haven't really been able to get the podcast together as a team for a little bit, and I've been kind of in and out. Uh, Finishing up my MBA, good old Penn State, so that's fun. I'll be done in August. Um,
Nice. Hey, that's next
yeah,
month.
yeah. I'm what was nice is that for the summer you're supposed to take two classes, like
Mm-hmm.
two elective classes, and I took negotiations at the beginning of the first half of the summer, and then for the rest of it, I'm finishing up like an app development project in Django, which is a Python based framework,
Nice.
and it's it's a lot of learning is the best way of putting
Mm-hmm.
it. It's taking up a lot of time, but at the same time, that's really the only thing I really need to be working on. So I can't complain too far. Um,
Yeah, it's not as bad
we,
as like having 18 projects going at once, you know?
yeah, fucking my negotiations class. It was to put it in perspective. It was a 6 week course that started a week after my last semester. So it was a 6 week course, or that yeah, it took me 6 weeks, but it was a 15-week course that was
Oh
compressed down
god.
into six.
Oh god.
So we had all of the assignments due in that 15 weeks converted into six. So I guess to put it in more perspective, it was a negotiations course, and we had to, we were given a prompt each week and a chapter to read. We got two of them each week, I guess to put it in perspective. So we got two prompts each week, which would describe what our position was. We would read whatever chapters about whatever that was. And then we would also have to set up a time with another person or the other negotiator to actually perform this negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have our position, we would negotiate for, we would have to allot for about 2 hours or so of time, so we'd negotiate for, 2-ish hours or some shit. And then after that, we would have to write about it and then, do that twice a week.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so it became a lot to handle, especially whenever the reading assignments were like 80, 90 chapters sometimes. And you'd have to do
Fuck.
that. And then your, uh, negotiation position or whatever was like 7 or 8 pages, but there were a few columns in them too. So there were 2 or 3 column documents of just information about what you thought about your position side. So that class was rough. And I was also
Yeah.
doing the app development thing at the same time. So it was brutal, like trying to get all of my ducks in a basket and do the podcast as well. Like, especially at the times that we do it, like the last thing that I wanted to do was sit here and look at my computer for any more time.
Yeah, after doing that
So,
literally all day.
yeah, and summer classes are usually online, but my last semesters were also all online. So yeah, I'm just kind of burned out with doing classes on a computer.
You know what? I completely understand that.
Yeah, so that's how school has been going for me. It's been taking up a lot of my time. Now that that's done, I've been able to, I guess, free my schedule up a bit more. I've been finally able to do the podcast here.
Hmm.
Um, Again, working on the app development thing, but that's just during the day, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, and that's still
Um,
not, you don't have to do, no. 8 billion pages of reading, and
yeah. Like it's a lot easier for me to determine a point where I'm done. Where
yeah,
during classes it was like, oh, like I finished my reading, but I have a negotiation tomorrow, and then I have to write about that, and then I have a negotiation 2 days after that, so I have to do my reading tomorrow night, and it was a lot.
yeah, you can never catch up on your work. You're
Yeah,
always
like
behind no matter what.
yeah, and then I guess I forgot to mention on top of that we had weekly papers.
Oh
Um,
fuck! Just to add the cherry on top.
but it was weekly in the sense of those 15 weeks, so we had two of them every week, and there were 1,000 words, like scholarly kind of documents or university level documents. So it sucked.
Yeah,
I did really well in that class. I guess I'll be modest about that. I did better than I thought I would, so I'm happy that's all over with. My professor was great. Like I can't complain about it. It was just a lot of work.
yeah,
Like
it was just
getting your
crammed.
MBA is not easy. I mean, university wasn't easy either, but MBA was like, that times two. And
This is
then
the so if
yeah,
university is the hard mode, MBA is
the true
the
gamer mode.
yeah, that's the one
Well,
that you unlock after.
well, well, no, that's the very hard mode, and then doctorate's the true
Oh
gamer
yeah,
mode.
yeah,
And I don't plan on doing that because similar in difficulty, it goes a similar strategy and price too.
yeah,
So your MBA is usually twice as much as your undergrad, and your doctorate is like 4 times as much. Like it's stupid. But
but at the same time
education
though,
is important whenever you need it.
at the same
I
time though, if you get your
that's what I'd
doctorate,
say.
then we could call you Dr. Mark.
Yeah, but do I want to spend like $100,000 on a title that really provides me no balance or no benefit that my job won't, give me money for? Like, that's the thing is like I want to work somewhere that they're going to be like, hey, you should get your doctorate. We'll pay for half of it. I'm going to be like, let's do
Let's
it.
do it. Let's
then,
go.
then at that point, yeah, like I was fortunate enough with coming out of my undergrad that I worked for the school, and they're like, hey, if you want to work for us, we'll help you pay for your MBA. But like, if you want to continue working for us, we're going to need you to get it. And I was like, all right, sure. So that's a position I'm in now, and I'm so eternally grateful for it. But
Hmm.
it's been rough. Like I coming right out of school and then going into school again. Like I just did not expect this, but
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm done. TLDR soon.
Oh, I bet.
um, So that's enough about my life. Nothing too crazy. It's just work, 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 and games. So I guess we'll get to the game part. Um,
We've been playing games together.
yeah, fucking Minecraft 1.7 put up the newest update, or I guess it's 1.17.1 is
Yeah.
the newest update we've all been playing, which is the part one of the caves update. And so we've been all working on it and trying to, you know, play something together as a group. Like I've been enjoying really putting together a server.
Hmm.
Um, I'll admit I haven't been playing the game nearly as much as I should, which usually is what happens. It's like me finding little things that I should improve or bugs that I should improve somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
You get busy with the back end.
yeah, yeah. Like last week, I we had some new players get on, and they had issues trying to figure out how to travel among the different worlds that I had. So I was just like, okay, we should try and find a solution for that. So I put together a little GUI or graphical user interface that shows up like a little panel that shows up and says, welcome to the server. Click this if you want to go to this or this world. Click this if you want to go to this world, and so on.
Oh, nice.
So it's I tried to make it easier for people to navigate it whenever they don't completely understand that all of the portals are located in one world, and maybe that's not so straightforward.
Well, and
Um,
also, I mean, not to knock it or anything, but it is like when you where you spawn isn't directly where the portals
yeah,
are at.
we also did change that.
Oh, did you?
So
Oh,
your new spawn area is directly in front of the portal area too.
perfect.
So we fixed that too, because again we had all the new players, and I was like, we should probably do that. Again, and at the same time, speaking of it, like one of my next plans with it, which is actually going to be one of the larger projects, and actually is why I haven't started it yet, is like making a separate world for the spawn,
Hmm.
and for all the portals and all that sort of stuff, so I can expand it indefinitely without worrying about impeding on something else.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, like the main like hub, if you will, smack dab in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it's a world itself. Like it's right by my house, and
Yeah.
I for I guess last week or this week, my project has been working on like a dungeon raid or
Hmm.
a dungeon world raid that players can go into, get whatever loot they want, and get out.
Yeah.
And with that, there's also different ideas that we can go down, like different quests or different like specific sort of loot runs or something like that. Um, but to allow players to access that easily, we kind of want to have portals for each one individually,
Oh yeah.
um, which is kind of one of the limitations with the resource we're using. So, yeah, let's say I want to have three more game modes, like I can barely fit one. Like I would have to start taking things down, and
Hmm.
it's thinking about that sort of thing, like how scalable is this in the long term.
Yeah. Go and think of the long run, playing
But
the long game.
uh, again, at the same time, with my experience of making these kind of servers and games and all that sort of stuff, I also want to make sure that I'm not spending a shit ton of effort into it.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing that I feel is important, because how do I put it? There's so many things to work on with those sort of things, and there's a lot of arbitrary and menial things that could be better, but most players don't even notice in the first place.
Yeah.
So, or most players aren't even going to benefit from. So, I think you learn that from experience too. Is that it's more so important to think of the value proposition of what you're implementing provides. So, um, for example, the dungeon thing. Like I was thinking of ways to give players um, more. Like I guess I have to explain it a bit more.
Hmm.
I wanted to give players something different beyond the nether that's different every time, or can
Okay.
be different every time. Um, so the dungeon resource that I developed, or I found a plugin that handles instantiating different worlds, and then inside of that, I procedurally generated a dungeon world in Minecraft. So essentially, it's just like a flat world, and then there's little outlets that you can jump in, and then it's just cave, not necessarily caves, but like cobblestone and brick dungeons everywhere with spawners and chests and all that sort of shit.
Okay.
So I wanted to provide something like replayability and like something valuable beyond players that have already felt they've got everything.
Yeah. Give them
Like
that
an
extra
enjoyable
challenge.
yeah, definitely, like an extra challenge for players that need that challenge, or something that is accessible for even most people.
Hmm.
um because I'll admit, like, I'm not a huge fighter and all of that sort of stuff, and I didn't make it to the bottom and finish it, but um, yeah, I still had fun, and like I still
Oh yeah.
made out in the loot. So like I think that's what I was trying to institute more, is like instead of tweaking something to put a limitation on it to make it specifically work in a certain way, it was more so like, what can I do to make this fun?
Yeah.
And uh, I it's just difficult with that kind of project. There's so many things you can change, like I said before, and I don't mean to ramble on about this too much,
Oh, you're
but
good.
that that uh, that server has definitely been a huge project for me, and it's been really eye opening, and I can see different scalable versions and different directions we can go to grow it further than what it is. But at the same time, I'm still uncertain about, you know, how do I get it to grow to that point? Like
Hmm.
I have ideas, but to get it to that point, I don't want to spend a lot of time into getting it to that point where it flops.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's like
Like
a line between like
this is
okay,
total
having
like big
enough.
picture sort of shit. Like
Yeah.
it's not a lot of things that most people would have to consider with their basic Minecraft server. But like I'm more so thinking about it like let's say we have 5 or 10 more of our friends play it,
Hmm.
or um, even beyond that. Let's say we want to have this server, but we want to open it up to the public. Even at that point, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Like that comes with its own set of questions. So it's trying to take it one step at a time and making something that I enjoy and then I don't feel that is a total waste of time, or something that people aren't going to use. Like it's difficult to explain unless you've really taken the time to put something together like that, where
Yeah.
a project gets huge and people are liking it, and there's little things that you can improve upon, but is the effort that you're spending in that really worth the improvement that you're getting?
Yeah. And well, also you kind of have to think too about having enough so, there's diversity and enough things to do, but not having too much where oh, there's all this
Needs to
stuff that's
yeah.
just not being touched because
Oh
nobody's
yeah.
playing on it.
Oh yeah. That's definitely one of the big things is having it too big and not having a player base.
Yeah.
Um, like it's but that also comes with its own caveats too, is that some player bases have expectations of certain features or certain things to do.
Oh
Like
yeah.
some servers are so huge that you know the top 5 or 10 servers probably all operate in the same way.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like
bet.
they probably all have their separate mini games. They all have their separate survival worlds. They all do it that sort of way because um, the expectation is that that needs to exist.
Yeah.
Um, and at the same time, they don't want to deter players from having less of those features just because they want to make sure that something's right in the first place. Like
Hmm.
it comes with its own pros and cons. Like this is total like sysadmin development, big picture sort of shit. But like
Yeah.
um, it it's yeah, servers are a bitch. Like it's especially whenever you're the like one of the sole people that are designing it and developing it and trying to figure out that big picture sort of thing in the first place. A lot of those big servers have financial teams or have teams that handle the actual planning and
Hmm.
big picture stuff, and then they hand that to the developers that put it together. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot more separated and independent. So but that's, I guess, one of the issues with, privately hosting things is you do it all yourself.
Yeah. And I don't know if you're like me or anything, but I mean, I'm a very hands-on kind of guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's hard for me especially to even to like some of my closest friends and shit. It's hard for me to just take a step back
Oh
and
yeah,
kind of let them do their thing.
yeah. Like it's difficult. Like how do I? I'm trying to figure out the best way of wording this. I guess the best example I can think of is whenever I was working on the 5M server with Jeff,
Hmm.
it was his first time ever working with that coding language, which was Lua.
Hmm.
And if you're familiar with Lua, you'll know that it's, a coding language. It's really straightforward and to the point. But if you're not familiar with coding whatsoever, like you get these resources and you look at them, it's hieroglyphics.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and it's I tried to be, um, how do I put it? I tried to teach him as much as I could, but at the same time, I also wanted to be more hands off with it because it wasn't something that I was able to easily learn without like doing it.
Hmm.
Like I was able to read so many things and I was able to watch videos, but like until I actually got my hands on doing the resource development myself, that's whenever it started making sense.
Yeah, you're more
So
hands-on than
like,
anything.
yeah, so it's really, because of that, it's back to your point, it's more difficult to give the reins to somebody else because everybody's skill set's different.
Mhm.
Everybody's understanding of what the project is different. Um, Even now, like I'm working on the Minecraft server, and Jeff has been a huge hand with me and figuring out what to do with it. But I'm fairly sure him and I have similar but probably differing directions in where the server should go.
Yeah,
But and that's okay. That's just one of the issues with having a development team where a lot of those sections aren't separated
yeah,
and there isn't necessarily somebody in charge. Like people are doing their own thing, putting in their 2 cents, and that's all we can really ask for. Like both Jeff and myself are doing it out of the kindness of our heart. Like we don't really expect anything to grow out of it, although that would be nice. But at the same time, as me as the guy that's running it, I'm thinking of, all right, where can we go from here?
yeah.
How can we grow this further? And like where should my time be spent? And those are my thoughts with it. I didn't expect to go in such a huge ramble with it, but development's a bitch. It's
It's
fun, and if you have a mind for it, it's enjoyable, and it's great finally getting something to work. But it's time consuming and rough sometimes.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know all about that with my my limited coding abilities from like high school.
Yeah, even that programming is brutal sometimes,
Hmm.
or just learning how things work. Like I've been doing that app development thing, and it's written in Python, and it's all learning because the documentation is at such a high level, and I'm not there yet. Like, yeah, I
Hmm.
understand Python, but whenever you get like some kind of framework or something else around it, it's just so different. Like
Hmm.
it's Arabic to me. Like,
Yeah.
but it's a learning curve. Like that's what's fun about it. It's great getting something to finally work. Um,
There's definitely a
so
sense of
yeah,
accomplishment.
yeah. So yeah, Minecraft server. We've been playing that for a bit.
Yeah, we
Um,
have.
yeah, it's been pretty dope. The new cave update. They added some like deep slate cobble. They changed some of the generation a bit. Uh, they what else did they add? They added amethyst. They added spyglasses. Yeah, caves are cool. I mean the new cave update slash world generation is going to be really dope in the next one.
Yeah.
But having fun. It's definitely fun playing, being able to play with people again.
Yeah, it's definitely like because I've played Minecraft before, back on like the PS3 days,
Yep.
and back when I was younger, I couldn't get into it. Like I saw the appeal of it, but like I couldn't get myself into it, and that's even playing with like a buddy of mine. But now, like being older in my age, and like actually sitting down with friends and playing it. I mean, like fuck, what was it that one day on my vacation that we played, and I look and it's like, oh, it's the sun's coming up. Let me go grab some food. Let me go get
Yeah,
some
it was like six
breakfast.
a.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were playing that like for goddamn like 8 9 hours. We put in a full work day. At least
Yeah,
I
pretty
did.
much.
So I never would have expected to be doing that. Like if you ask me, fuck, how long has Minecraft been around for? Like 8 years?
Longer than that.
Yeah, I mean at least when I played it, the PS3 version, what, like 8 years ago? When I first played it? Yeah. I never would have expected it. Flash forward, 26-year-old me sitting at my computer playing Minecraft. just mining away, finding it the most like zen experience ever. No, it's a lot of fun. That game is I've really grown on Minecraft.
Yeah, definitely. I've been really enjoying it playing with everyone.
Hmm. What else have you done? Played
Oh,
anything else or?
jeez. Um, yeah, I mean, I've what else have I played? I played Cyberpunk a little bit.
Mhm.
Wait, I guess that was like 2 weeks ago. I played good 20, 30 some hours into it. More.
Has it gotten better?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bugs that are fixed. It's at least
Well, that's good.
playable, and I know it's been brought up on the PlayStation Store again. So
Yeah.
it's at least in somewhat of a playable state. I think it crashed like once on me, so nothing too crazy. There's a lot more graphical bugs more than anything else in my experience.
Okay.
So
Nothing game breaking.
yeah, it was rubber banding. Excuse me, trees just popping in, that sort of stuff.
Small things.
Um, yeah, like there's a lot of graphical stuff that could be improved upon, um, but nothing too entirely game breaking, as you said. Um, and I was able to play into the story a bit more, and it was, how do I put it? Like I really enjoyed myself. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like I don't want to beat around the bush. Like I enjoyed myself a lot more than I expected. Um, but I don't want to spoil it too much. But there were a lot of points in the storylines, like the side quest storylines, and even kind of the main storyline, where the plot just ends.
Ugh. Oh.
And I don't want to be like, put it in perspective. I assume you've played an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, they have a lot of guilds and all of those sort of things. So,
Hmm.
um, in a lot of, like, for example, the Dark Brotherhood quest lines, you go through the quest lines and they're all super fun. And then you get to the end, and sometimes there's a reoccurring random quest, but a lot of times that's just sort of it.
Hmm.
And I ran into the same thing with Cyberpunk. It's like I really enjoyed myself to in those storylines, and then it was over,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, all right, like what do I do now? Like that, I was so disappointed. Like I didn't, obviously I didn't finish the game. I want to preface that, and I still have more to go in the main story, and I'll probably enjoy it a bit more there. But I finished a lot of the side storylines. Like I finished a lot of the relationship quest lines and a lot of the side story ones, and it was just like, cool, these were great, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted them to be more, and I could start to see where the development went short, and that I was just really disappointed. Like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I had a great time, and it's a great game, and I could see improvements with potential DLC, but I was just so utterly disappointed. Like playing it for a week or two straight, and then finishing up those quest lines, and then being like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
Like it
It's kind of
was,
like blue balling you almost.
yeah. Like I just wanted there to be so much more, and there was so much potential for more. And even reading online, like I had to look up and see if these quest lines went any further, and everybody was just like, "Yo, you're expecting too much out of a game." And I'm like, "Yo, Grand Theft Auto 4, like fucking my cousin called me all the time to go bowling. Like you
You
can't have
go
that
with your
sort of shit."
cousin Roman.
Yeah, like it was annoying, but like that provided that sense of life to those
Hmm.
characters, and like it would gave them life beyond a quest line, and like I could call up these people and then go to a restaurant and do some stupid animation and take them home, and it's little things like that. Like it's just non-existent in Cyberpunk, and like I don't know. They just marketed it as maybe that's my fault, but I just expected so much more, at least in that regard.
Yeah.
And
You
as you
almost.
said, it was just blue balling me.
Yeah. You almost expected it to be almost like a living, breathing world, but
Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto did it just fine. It was just like I can't believe that they went through all of this time with this quest line and then just didn't write any exposition.
Yeah.
Or maybe I didn't get to it yet, but like you should at least provide players the opportunity to meet with these characters again or go back to these locations or something. Like it's that was my biggest rant with that. I'm not gonna lie, I had a great time, but replayability, it's just the only reason why I could see myself replaying it is to play as a male character and to go down a different quest line and do the
Have a
other romance options, but
have a
that's it.
giant penis.
Yeah, but like beyond that, from my understanding, the ending is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you do pick depending. I don't personally know. I've just sort of read about it, so it's kind of as vague as possible. But from my understanding, you just kind of pick somebody, and that is the person you go through with the ending. Like, yeah, there's little variations with the character, but it's not like, oh, I picked this character, I went down this quest line, I'm gonna have ending 5. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna have, you know, this ending with a little bit of a variation. Again, I might be completely wrong, but I haven't really read anything that proved me different.
Hmm.
And I read a handful of things that were like, yep, that's how it goes. So
Yeah. So
I'm,
it seems like it's almost like how Telltale is, like with their games, where it has that
yeah,
false sense of choice and
yeah,
what you do is matters, but I mean, in reality, you always end up at the same goal, no matter
yeah,
what.
that sense of choice or that illusion of choice.
Yeah. There we go.
And maybe it does have some stuff that changes, but all in all, in the end, like it's difficult for me to say that it really contributes to the ending. It might change your experience, but it's not going to contribute to the ending.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not going to get
It's
something completely different.
Yeah, like you might get a different line of dialogue, or you might get a different dialogue tree or action tree or something like that. Like you might not be able to romance this character, for example, but okay. Like from my understanding, the ending's still the same, and that's what's kind of stopped me from playing it or picking it up again for the
Mhm.
third time. So we'll see. So that's Cyberpunk. I feel like I've just been rambling this entire time.
You're good,
What
man.
else have I? What else have I been playing? Oh, jeez. Um, Excuse me. I think those are pretty much the big ones. I haven't played anything too crazy. A bunch of Overwatch, like usual.
Yeah.
Um, I've just been trying to jump into the competitive scene a bit more. Now that Overwatch 2 is hopefully going to be coming around.
Maybe
And
one of these days.
Overwatch's seasons are so quick, so you can earn the competitive credits really easily.
Hmm.
So that's, I guess, pretty much all that I've been doing there. Nothing too extensive. It's just been Minecraft with the boys while I can. Uh, yeah, I think I've been on since I've last talked about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, have you?
I think I've been on since I've talked about that, but
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
pretty much played through that and finished that game. I went on to the DLC and haven't really finished that yet. Haven't honestly touched it since. Um, the DLC was just something to be desired.
Yeah.
It just wasn't necessarily for me, but maybe I needed to go back into it. But we'll see.
Well, then, if you go back into it, and then, hey,
A whole new
maybe,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, maybe a whole new experience, or maybe by then, Ghost of Tsushima will be out on PC. I don't
or
know if you heard from the last podcast, but Sony bought a company that did all of the a lot of the the recent Square Enix ports to PC, like for the
oh
Tomb Raider
jeez.
games. So they're really ramping up their PC game.
Oh days. Hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you played Horizon, so I mean, was that a good PC port?
Not
Did it
initially.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I played it. I don't think I played it when it came out. Like, or whenever I don't think I played it initially whenever it came to PC. I think I waited a couple months.
Mhm.
And from my understanding, for some people it ran like an absolute potato on
Ugh.
PC.
Ugh.
I didn't have any problems, but it was definitely a chunky game.
Well, here's hoping now that they have an actual team that's experienced in PC gaming and ports. Maybe they'll be
Yeah, let's
decent
hope so.
on launch.
Yeah. Um, what I'm gonna say, that's pretty much all for me. Nothing too ridiculous.
Okay. Well, I know another thing that we did. We watched a lot of games done quick.
Oh, you did that too.
God, I love GDQ season so much. I love it to death, but man, does it just fuck up my sleep schedule?
My sleep schedule has been destroyed since college. Like fucking, I go to bed every night at like 10 a.m. I shit you not. I'll wake up at like 2 or 4 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
And I think last night I was up programming all night and fell asleep at like 11 a.m. and woke up at like 8. Got a shower, worked on programs a bit more, got my shit together, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, then there's me that, went to bed at like 9:30 last night. Woke up at 2, woke up at 4, woke up at 6, woke up at 8, decided to get up, grab some breakfast, which let me tell you, I went to Burger King this morning. They gave me 5 extra French toast sticks for free.
Ooh,
Oh, it was a good morning. Ate my breakfast, took another fucking nap, woke up at noon, went to work. There's my lazy ass. Just sleeping all day.
well,
Uh
sometimes you need it.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, but yeah, GDQ. Lots and lots of sleepless nights just watching speed runs,
It
enjoying
was
all
really good
that.
though.
Mhm. I really hope that Awesome Games is in person because I know me and Trevor are planning on going to see it live. So that'll
Hope
be
so too.
yeah. They raised $2.9 million.
Which is nuts. I
That
got
is
50 of my bucks.
yeah. They got a good amount of my money too, and that's not including the stuff from the Yeti.
Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot to buy t-shirts. Never mind. Fuck.
Yeah, it happens. The designs weren't that great this year. Um,
Yeah, I like the one that looked like a Nintendo game.
yeah, I always
Or
get those
Nintendo game
ones.
case. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that one. That was pretty much it. The rest of them were pretty mediocre.
actually, I'm wearing my one from Awesome Games last year right now.
Ooh.
Um, I got that one, and then there was an Untitled Goose Game one, and I had to get it. They had a cool Horizon one, but it just seemed too lifeless. It just looked like promotional art for the game.
Is that a
Like,
t-shirt?
yeah,
Maybe I didn't see it. Or, I don't know.
yeah. I didn't know what it was until I actually looked at it. I when I actually like blew it up and looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's Aloy. But
Hey,
yeah,
boy.
Aloy. But it just looked like promotional art. It didn't have like that fun like style to
Yeah, I
it
don't
that
know.
the GDQ shirts had. But yeah, so GDQ, watched a shit ton of that. Played Minecraft. Been playing Tropico 6.
Hey,
I bought that
how's
on the
that?
Steam sale, and then it became free on Game Pass. Legitimately, I put 4 hours into the game the night that I got it, and then the next day, Microsoft announced what's coming to Game Pass, and it was fucking
It was
Tropico
on it.
6.
It was on
I
there.
was so pissed, but oh well, it's fine. I like Tropico. I have all the Tropico games now, and boy howdy, is it way better than me playing on a controller. Because I used to
Yeah,
play the shit on like the 360.
that's where I started. Tropico 3 on the 360.
Yeah,
And then I think 4 was maybe it was two. I don't know. Either way, one of the games was coming out, and that was the time that I was getting my PC getting set up. So I remember the Tropico games were one of the first things that I was picked up, or
Oh
that I
yeah.
picked up. I don't think I've played 6 yet because I don't think I ever bought it. You see.
Hey man, it's on Game Pass. 6 is fun
Oh
because
nope, I did buy it. Fuck, I remember. Oh no, that's how I remember that game. That was the one that was super easy.
yeah, it also has like I like the island mechanics because that's the big gimmick of this one is, you know,
I did
there's the
too, but
different islands.
they don't allow you to build as far as you'd expect.
Yeah,
So I ran into the building limit really early on.
yeah,
That was my problem.
yeah. And then it just kind of plateaus. It's like I think they got rid of that in one of the updates, but I'm not sure. Or they changed it, they upped it or something.
I don't
But
know. I'll have to take a look into it again. So
yep.
I remember I was like, oh, I have all this space. I can build all of the stuff that I want. And then it was just like, oh yeah, you can't have any more buildings. And I was like, what?
El Presidente. You cannot construct additional pylons.
And I'm like, fuck. I just want to build a fucking space program.
Great. Now I gotta have a whole bunch of homeless people.
Yes. It's like I guess I gotta destroy all of these embassies. Here goes my money.
Yeah, so I played that. I've been sinking my teeth more and more into Mario Golf.
Hey,
The
what's
new
that?
one. It is really good. I've been putting time into the single player, and yeah, it's solid. I really like it. Camelot hit it out of the park, as they usually do. Um, yeah, it's a very fun little RPG. Get to create your me, roam
It
around, do quests.
look, looks fun.
Yeah, it's I I was shocked that it was on sale at Best Buy the week it came out.
Oh
It
jeez.
was like 50 or it was like 45 or $50. But I was shocked by that one. But I bought it at GameStop because I traded in a few things and I had a trade in or a pre-order that I had. I think it was Resident Evil. I had a pre-order there, and then I just got it at work for the Steelbook. Um, but yeah, so I only paid like $20 for the game.
That's dope.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's and I got some pins for it. I got a Mario and Peach pin. So guess who's been wearing that every day at work? But yeah, no,
You?
it's yeah, oh yeah, you know it. But yeah, it's a really solid little golfing game.
You know, I
And
have
I
to
like
take a
it.
look around for it. Like I've wanted to pick it up. It's just $60.
Yeah, that's and you know it's Nintendo, so it's never gonna go on sale.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So
it'll go on sale like 3 years from now.
so I have to keep an eye on keep an eye on it, like places like Walmart or Best Buy or something.
Or hell, even
See
like
if they.
secondhand. See if it like
Yeah.
Macari or eBay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely a thing. I don't know. I Macari is too expensive for my boots.
Some of the things are. Some of the things are pretty expensive. Some of the things
It's
are.
so expensive for everything I look for. Like it's like, oh, you're selling this used computer. You want $400? It's like, bitch, it's that thing was like, 400 whenever you got it. Like, okay, I don't know.
Or
It's
Yahoo
yeah,
Auctions Japan.
yeah, that might be.
You'll spend more money in the import fees, but you'll get the game for cheaper, baby.
That might be worth looking into. I don't know. That website's a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
can't. I
it
can't do
hella
that.
is. It hella is. I've spent many and long nights just perusing. Well, fuck. You remember me on the last time I went on my little hunt, and I'm like, hey, who wants to go in on me with like 5 broken Japanese PS2s?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's for a fucking yen. Let's do it. Um, yeah. So I've been playing that. Played Tropico, Minecraft. Oh, I I started watching Resident Evil Infinite Darkness.
Not a fan.
I don't even know why I even think anymore that it's going to be even moderately okay. Let me tell you what because I told my buddy this that I started watching it, and he goes, "All right, so how is it?" I go, "Do you want the good or the bad?" He goes, "The good first." So the good, um, the good is the CG looks pretty good. Full
Jeez.
stop. The bad, literally everything else about it is atrocious. I mean, so the story is about Leon this takes place in 2006. So it's a few years after the incident in Spain where Leon has to save the president's daughter. And so there's like this one dude that keeps thinking that the Chinese are hacking into the White House and stealing important documents. And I call him Donald Trump because that's what he reminds me of. And there's like this super group of people who are like the super secret service, like the secret service's like badass cousin. And that consists of this man named Jason, who was a war vet, who was in this in it he was in the United States military, and he helped a Black Hawk helicopter that was downed during this one civil war in a fake country near the Russian border, and turns out it was all zombies, and everyone in the military is like, "Oh, don't go after that that down chopper. You gotta keep on the mission." And he's like, "Screw you, old man. I'm going down to save my fellow Americans." So he goes down and saves his fellow Americans, and then, we don't know what happened, but he becomes a war hero. And so now he's like buddy with the president. Then there's this dude, I just call him Pussy Bitch. I think his name is Ben. His big thing is that he's just a pussy bitch. You see him for like 5 minutes through the first 2 episodes. Then there is the person who I call Woman, because her only defining characteristic trait is that she is a woman, and that's it. You only see her for a little bit. She only talks for like 30 seconds. Then there's Leon. Now, Leon goes to the White House fashionably late as always. But guess what? Zombies attack the White House. Oh no. Nobody knows what to do except for Leon. Even though it is confirmed that zombies exist. So you would think that the president's Secret Service, even if they covered up the Raccoon City incident, the president's, Secret Service would have some sort of training on what to do in a zombie outbreak. Because, confirmed. But no, they don't. So, they eliminate all the zombies, and everyone's like, "Oh, how do the zombies infiltrate the White House?" And then Donald Trump's like, "It was the Chinese. We gotta attack the Chinese. Go after the Chinese." Mr. President's like, "Alright, bet." So he sends an elite squad of Jason, Woman, and Leon on a submarine to China to attack a research facility to see what to try to get clues and prove that the Chinese were behind the hacks and the zombies. That's the end of episode 1. Episode 2.
That sounds ridiculous.
Episode 2. Leon hits on Woman. Woman makes snide comment. Immediately pissed off because Leon only has one love, and that's Ada Wong. So, immediately done with that. That's done. Jason has, war flashbacks, yada yada yada. No one cares. Oh, Claire's there too, by the way. Claire is in the story somehow. She's a reporter. She works for like the UN or something like that.
True.
Yeah, she's just there. She's just vibing. So they're on sub, and it's all cramped and everything, and you have a lot of exposition, a lot of people talking and world building, and you see Jason inject himself with something. Leon notices in the bathroom secretly, but Leon does nothing about it. He doesn't go, "Hey Jason, what's up? What's that you're injecting with, bud? That looks like the same kind of needle that they inject people with, like, the T virus or the G virus or the progenitor virus. What's going on there, bud?" But no, Leon doesn't care. So he fucks right on off. Then all of a sudden, lights go out. There's dead crewmen. There's dead crewmen. And then out of the belly of the dead crewman comes a zombie rat. Leon proceeds to punt the fucking thing into the stratosphere, almost. Punts it so hard across the room that it bounces back to him to where he can squish half of it with a fire hydrant. So Leon has to evade. You ever play Plague's Tale?
No, I mean, I'm familiar with it.
You're
but I've
familiar
never
with all
actually
those
played it.
rats?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really talked about the rat group physics or whatever whenever they were releasing it.
Yeah, apparently the
simulation or whatever.
people who made this scene really liked Plague's Tale. Because there's like 3 to 5 minutes of just Leon running from a horde of rats. It happens twice. He there's like a bunch of water, and he breaks like an electrical thing, and then jumps up and like holds on to like some bars on the ceiling, and then like 5 seconds later, then the electricity sparks onto the water and electrocutes all the zombie rats. So that was neat. Oh, did I also mention how fucked up the filming on it is? So the normal scenes and everything, I swear, are rendered in 24p, which is the standard for movies and television. So 24 frames. The action scenes, on the other hand, I swear, are at like 60 FPS. Because there would be times where it's like, very cinematic, slow, methodical, that kind of stuff, and then boom, wiggly arm zombies running at you at like 500 miles an hour, and it looks atrocious. And then they flop down when they get shot like noodly arms, and ketchup goes everywhere. So that's cool. But no, Leon's investigating the sub, and then it goes over to Woman and Jason straight up murdering the crewman. Because why have a payoff, am I right? So then they're gone, and Leon's like walking around, and there's like the sub will self-destruct in 60 seconds. And I'm okay, this is a little bit early for the ending of the game, but okay. So he's running around, and then he gets to the deck, and then there's Woman pointing a gun at him, and he goes, "Well, this is a warm welcome. I'm not dead." And then it's like 5 seconds till detonation, till self-destruct. And then Jason's like, "We gotta get out of here." So all of them escape on a mini sub on the sub. And then we go to Shanghai at a safe house. We grab a bunch of guns, and Woman's out getting groceries while Jason and Leon are hanging out in this little apartment. Jason's smoking a cigarette. He puts out, and there's a bunch of guns on this coffee table. Jason's smoking a cigarette. He then proceeds to put out this cigarette, but there's 3 other cigarettes in the ashtray, both about 3 times as large, like stogie style size cigarettes.
Like full ass cigarettes, yeah.
Like, imagine a cigar, but
Uh-huh.
looking like a cigarette.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
rendered there. While he's having this little, tiny little cigarette. Like, normal sized one. It looks so weird and jarring. I can't believe it's happening.
Oh,
And
it's so
Leon's,
out of place.
yeah. And Leon's like, this is gonna go in my report how you killed all these people. You're gonna get court-martialed. And Jason's like, no, I'm not. Reaches for the gun and tries to shoot Leon. Leon reaches for a gun and he shoots Jason right in the chest. Woman standing right there. And then she pulls out a gun and starts firing. Leon's blind shooting. He's like straight up like Gears of War, like just up at cover, just holding down our right trigger, just shooting randomly. She
Yeah,
escapes.
and
She
then
fucks
grandma
off.
across the street comes out of the store and pulls out her M16 and shoots
Yeah,
them all down.
exactly. So
Oh,
then woman leaves. She fucks off. She's running down some staircases, and Leon goes to the top. He's at the top of the staircase, and he's looking down, watching woman leave, and it just sticks on his face for a little bit, and then credits. So that's how
wow.
episode 2 ends, and that's as far as I've gotten. So in the matter of, oh, these are half-hour shows, by the way. It's not like the normal Netflix hour shows. These are half-hour long.
Well, there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. There is no time to breathe. From the time from episode 1 to episode 2 end, we have gone through like 4 fight scenes, 3 changes of locations, 4 including the flashbacks. 4 changes of locations. Many a characters introduced, most of them not doing shit. And one Leon S. Kennedy still looking pretty goddamn rad. So yeah, that's I give my first 2 the first half of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, because it's only 4 episodes. The first half of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, 7 Resident Evil 6s out of 10, which means I'd rather play Resident Evil 6 7 times than watch it again.
Oh shit.
It sucked. Don't recommend.
Will that be? You don't recommend it for just Resident Evil fans or just people in general?
People in general.
It was that bad.
People in general. No, yeah, it has no sense of where the story's going. And like I said, I mean, from what I've seen, they can pack a lot in 30 minutes. So, who knows?
Yep,
Maybe
it's not really going anywhere.
yeah, it still doesn't feel like it's really going anywhere. And at the same time, it feels rushed, which is weird. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, and it feels rushed at the same time. And it just doesn't feel like the characters have that kind of motivation. Any kind of, so Jason hates the United States because they were like, oh, don't help the downed Black Hawk helicopter in the middle of a fucking war zone. You gotta stand down. So he hates America for that. Woman, on the other hand, doesn't like America because
Understandable.
just like she was in the military. She walked in on Jason's like squad talking about zombies and how the people there are like that are dying or turning into zombies. And then it's just woman walks in. Woman looks at, then it just pans off to like woman looking at a locket with presumably her brother's picture in it. There we go. That's why woman is hating America too. That's her motivation. Nothing.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then it's just bad dialogue. It looks good, but like the dialogue's bad. The action scenes suck. The CG's pretty. but like if I would give it a pass if you don't know about Resident Evil, I would give it a super hard pass if you're a Resident Evil fan.
Okay.
Yeah, not good. But yeah, that's been my week. Let's go thank our patrons.
Hey.
Mad shout out to Jeffrey Ryan for updates to international shipping. Thanks, Patreon. Mad shout out to Jeffrey Ryan, the GOAT, for continuing his support to the Lockpick Guild, the Lockpick Nation, whatever we decide to call it this week. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. We need to. He messaged me one day. He messages me on Xbox, and he goes, "Hey man, you busy?" And I'm like, "No, what's up?" He's like, "You gonna be free in like 10 minutes?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What's going on?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of really want to play Sea of Thieves with y'all. I haven't played the new update." I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, man. I'll be down to play sometime." That was like a week ago. I haven't haven't heard him be like, "Yeah, let's play some Sea of Thieves." So, oh well, we'll get to
He's,
playing with him sometime.
yeah, I
Oh,
think he's been playing it. Like I've been
has he?
seeing him on there play it.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, next time if it's like when I'm off, or if it's like a day where I don't have to wake up super early, maybe I'll join him. We'll see what the
Yeah.
cards play. All right, let's
Yeah.
get on to some news, I guess.
Gonna say, feel free to shoot us a message if you ever want to
Yeah,
play.
definitely. You have our Discord. You're a part of the Discord. You have our Xbox Live stuff.
I'm usually on here. The last few times I played Sea of Thieves, it's just been not great experiences.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's I'm not a huge PvPer, so
Yeah.
that's kind of the issue. Is like spending all day getting your loot together, and then you go into a fight and you go through however many rounds and you get to the last one, and then there's three other ships that appear.
I think the game
It's
desperately needs like a PvE mode.
Yeah, I would say like I would definitely play it more if it had a PvE mode.
Yeah. Because
Um,
I mean, it's still
but
like with the sea monsters and the ghost ships and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's still like challenges out in the sea.
yeah, like I definitely still play it that way. Or if
Mhm.
they, for example, if they opened up like the server functionality completely, even more
Yeah.
to players, like they gave players the ability to say, hey, spawn, 2.5 times ghost ships,
Yeah.
like spawn, more enemies or give them more health or something like
Hmm.
that. It's I don't know. That's I guess my problem with it
Hmm.
is the few times I've been or the last few times I've played, we've been PvP'd hardcore, and it
Yeah.
just hasn't been a great experience.
Yeah. No. It's yeah. It's definitely a game like, and it's a huge commitment too.
Yeah,
Because I mean, some of those tall tales take forever.
yeah.
Take like
Fucking,
hours.
we did some of the new update,
Hmm.
Walker and I think it took us around 2 or 3 hours to
Hmm.
the second mission or something like that.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like it wasn't bad, but it took a while.
Yeah. I'm hoping that once the game starts reaching near its end of life, they open up
I
like
think,
custom
yeah,
servers or something like that. They release like the server code and stuff like that, and let you do your own stuff.
it's the hope, but I don't know. I doubt
Yeah,
it.
I don't know either. And who knows when the end of life of this game would be? Because they're constantly adding stuff to it.
Games as a service.
Yep. Good old games as a service.
Shit. But yeah. Uh, so yeah, feel free to message us if you ever want to
Hmm.
play. Sea of Thieves. I'd still be down. Why not?
Oh yeah, definitely.
News, I guess.
Yeah, news. Um, do you want to do yours or do you want to do mine? It's up to you.
I guess I can do mine. I
Oh,
only
okay.
have the one thing.
Okay.
See
Let's
if I
talk
can bring
about
up the right page.
let's talk about the thing that was announced yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the right page for it because I totally had it a second ago, and then I looked at. Uh,
I hate it when I accidentally close out a tab or something, especially when doing the podcast.
yeah, like figured. Okay, yeah, I was looking at these headphones. Yeah,
Priorities, the
the good old
preamble.
the good old Stream Deck or Steam Deck. Sorry, very different. I'm surprised they didn't get some kind of problem with that. Either
Different
way,
than the Elgato Stream Deck.
yeah. So Steam's quoting this as the most powerful, fully featured gaming handheld in the world. So it's uh, uh, think of a Nintendo Switch with a handful of more features. So it's using a Zen 2 and an RDNA 2 AMD processor. That's supposedly going to support your Steam library.
Hmm.
Um, some features with it. So as I said before, imagine a Nintendo Switch, but supposedly they have the best-in-class thumbsticks with capacitive sensors in them. That's pretty neat.
Mhm.
You got your full input whenever it comes to triggers, so they're not going to be buttons. Pretty cool there too, I guess. They also have built-in grip buttons on the side for your extra little fingers on the bottom.
Macros.
Yeah, so similar to the Xbox Pro controllers or that one adapter thing for the PS4
The back
controllers,
button.
or now they sell a first-party adapter to give
Yeah.
you shoulder buttons, and I think the PS5 has them. I'm not exactly
No,
sure. I
it
don't
just
know.
works for the PS4 because I'm looking at it right now. I have it in my hand. It's called the back
Oh, no.
button, and all it does actually is just map different
Oh yeah,
buttons to those triggers, those flippers.
that's pretty much all that they do, anyways.
Yeah.
Isn't anything too extensive, so you'll get that sort of shit. It's a 7-inch touchscreen. They don't say what kind of display is on it, unfortunately. You get a built-in trackpad right below the actual joystick, a built-in gyro to
Hmm.
do all that sort of fun games. You have a handful of storage options. So um, the smallest option is a 64 gig eMCC memory, which I'm pretty sure is going to be soldered. And then they also have a 256 and 512 NVMe option, which they're trying to promote a bit more. 40-watt battery, quote unquote, hi-fi audio. Um, uh, a dock mode with expandable I/O. So you can plug it in like a computer, hook up a mouse and keyboard, play it on your displays. Pretty wild.
So real
Uh,
quick, when I look up Steam Deck on Google Images, the first thing that pops up is, "Did you mean Stream Deck?"
yeah, like I think they're gonna have problems with that.
And there is a total
Um,
of 3 pictures on Google Images.
take a look a little bit further.
Oh, never
Okay,
mind. If I spell it right, I get it. I get more.
so I guess more in the specifics that we got here. The CPU is a Zen 2, as I said before, up to 2.4 to 3.5 gigahertz of 448 gigaflops. GPU is an RDNA 2, which is an 8 core, supposedly, or it's an 8 RDNA 2 compute units. I don't know what that means. Either way, it goes up to 1.6 gigahertz at 1.6 teraflops, which is pretty fast and then pulls about 4 to 15 watts of power. You'll get 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM on it, so um, but supposedly it's pretty fast. I mean, it's the LP version, so I'd assume so.
Yeah.
You get the different storage versions, like I said. Capacitive touch, you'll get HD haptic vibration because
Ooh.
that's the selling point.
That's the hip
Um,
thing nowadays.
yeah, the resolution of the display. I said it was 720p before, but you go into their tech specs, and I guess it's 1280 by 800. So it's well, it'd be typically 1280 by 720, but
Yeah.
I guess they change, or it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio.
Yeah,
So
so it's got to be a little wonky, a little
yeah,
weird.
it's an IPS LCD panel, a 7-inch diagonal, 400 nit brightness, 60 hertz. Bluetooth 5.0. Let's see if you get a headphone jack. Yeah, you get a headphone jack. That's
Hell
pretty
yeah.
cool. Works USB-C. Yeah, it's so. I think it's a great idea. I'm not gonna lie. I think Steam needed to do something like this and get back into the console market to expand beyond what they're currently already doing. Um, like I, at the same time, I don't know if this is the right way of doing it.
Yeah.
Similar to the Steam Links, they tried it. They sold them for a while. They supported them for a while, but obviously that didn't really, follow through. Um, so like I think this will at least give them a better understanding of their demographic that they're going for.
Yeah.
It might also allow them to expand the Steam demographic, which is what they're doing to a more portable sort of sense, and trying to capitalize on the people that strictly get a Switch because of the portability.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you're getting pretty much the same product, but instead of just being limited to the Nintendo titles, you get all of these Steam titles that every developer can bring over to. So I could see the value that that brings over. I'm just, I don't know. It's weird because you would think at the same time the Steam Link would work and this sort of thing wouldn't. Where at the
Yeah.
same time, like, uh, that's why
Have
I'm so baffled. Like, why? I'm just more so curious on how well this is going to work,
yeah.
especially at the price point. I didn't mention that. And that's going to be the reason why I'm not going to be picking one up. Because the 64 gigabyte version starts at $399. The 256 gig NVMe version is $529, and the 512 is $649. So, isn't that more than a Switch, or is that
Yeah.
around the same
A
price?
Switch is $199 for the handheld only model. For the regular Switch, it's $299, and for the new Switch that we'll be talking about for in a second is uh $350. So no matter what, you're gonna be
So,
spending more than a Switch.
yeah, you'll be spending more than a Switch. So it's obviously it has to rely on those other factors to differentiate itself
Hmm.
from similar products. And even like Nvidia did something very similar with
Yeah,
this. Like I think your Nvidia Shield can do all the same sort of stuff too. Like
yeah,
if
and
you
they
have
had
the
that
Shield
Shield
tablet.
tablet. Yeah,
Um, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious who this is for, because
That's also what I was thinking. Yeah.
how many people have been saying, man, I sure do wish that I had my Steam library with me when I'm on the go,
Yeah, like
when I'm on the train.
I can't wait to, pick up The Witcher 3 and play it while I'm on the
But
train.
but
Or
here's the thing, you could do
or
that
play
on the
Gary's
Switch.
model. Yeah, that was a bad example. I thought about that as I was thinking about it. I don't know.
now
It's
now here's something
go ahead.
interesting from Polygon. Apparently, it's not going to be closed. It's not going to be closed source like running like Linux like the Steam Link. You'll be able to just pop Windows on it and use it as like a portable PC.
Maybe that
You'll be able to download like
the
Epic Game Store, Uplay, Origin. They'll all work on the Steam Deck apparently, according to IGN.
maybe that's what they're trying to market it as.
Maybe.
Something something in that perspective, but they give you really nice computer hardware. Like I mean the specs are pretty crazy for how small it is.
Hmm.
Like it makes sense why it's so expensive because fucking the chips are super nice and expensive,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Yeah. It's a weird
This kind of
product.
it also opens up to um Game Pass too if
Yeah.
you or their cloud streaming. Imagine having that, on the go instead of having a, controller for your um phone to play like cloud gaming stuff.
I'm
I
sure
think that'll be a lot better.
we'll definitely see that.
Hmm.
No doubt about that. But reserve yours now for $5 on Steam.
Nice. Did you say that,
That's it.
who was it that said that their page was up, but you couldn't buy anything because it crashed?
Uh,
I think that was
yeah,
Trevor.
yeah, it crashed the that day. I don't know how long it was down for, but the the yeah, the Steam Deck caused Steam to be down for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess people want it.
Yeah,
People
I
do
guess
want it.
so.
Sounds like. Well, we'll see. We'll
It's
see how
neat.
it turns out.
Yeah.
We'll see how long Valve supports it.
Well, that's all
Uh,
for me.
okay. Well, I kind of teased it in the last one. Nintendo announced a new Nintendo Switch model
Oh
completely
yeah,
out of the blue. Like just
we
randomly on
we
Twitter.
were waiting for it.
We were, but not this. So everyone was waiting for the Nintendo Switch Pro, the Switch Pro, or the Switch Super Switch. What Nintendo announced was the Nintendo Switch OLED model. So this one's going to be at $349.99. It will be able to do TV mode, tabletop mode, and handheld mode, just like the $300 Nintendo Switch. It's going to play all Nintendo Switch games. It's going to have all the exact same Joy Cons that have the Joy-Con drift. It's going to have a dock, but the dock will include. So the current dock only has an HDMI cable, HDMI out, and then I think one or two USB ports. The new Switch dock is going to have HDMI out, and then two USB cables, as well as Ethernet adapter or Ethernet port
Jeez,
as well. So when you play your Smash Bros with its shitty netcode,
it's
it will.
something that should have been there in the first place. To be
I mean, it
honest,
really should have been, but the Nintendo Switch, the OLED model, is going to be a little bit longer. It is 0.1 inches longer than the original Nintendo Switch. It's going to weigh a little bit more. The original Nintendo Switch is 0.88 pounds as opposed to 0.93 with the OLED model. The big difference, though, is that the original Switch used a 6.2 LCD touchscreen. The OLED model, per the name, is going to use a 7-inch OLED screen. So you're getting much more screen on there, and it's going to have 64 gigabytes of storage. Battery life is going to be the exact same. The Switch OLED is going to have better sound. Not, there's not like really a whole lot though. So let's see here. 0.93 pounds Joy-Con, multi-touch capacitive touchscreen at 1280 by 720. NVIDIA custom Tegra processor. It's pretty much all the exact same stuff, but just
a new
with
display.
a newer, nicer display. That's about it. and then a dock that does LAN as well, that does Ethernet, which you can buy the dock separately. So $50 more bucks. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch, maybe pick up the OLED model. I don't know. I probably am not picking it up.
Yeah, it doesn't really provide too much value. I mean,
If
it's a. They always do that though.
yeah, if I used my Switch more in handheld mode, I'd probably pick it up. But I mainly have my Switch docked. Very rarely do I undock it and, I might take it outside for a little bit, just hang out. If it's like the weather's nice, I'll sit on my porch and play, like Mario Golf. But yeah, other than that, it's firmly docked the entire time of its life. But oh well. Who knows? Maybe next year we'll get that Super Switch that everyone's been leaking and saying, "Hey, it's coming out."
Let's hope.
Yeah. Real quick, games coming out for PlayStation Now because it is a new month. Well, halfway through a new month. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PlayStation Now. Neo 2 is coming to PlayStation Now. Moving Out's coming to PlayStation Now. God of War is going to be staying on PlayStation Now forever. And Judgment's coming out on PlayStation now, the original. Tokyo Games 2020 is going to be on PlayStation now, and NASCAR Heat 5 as well. You know, it's funny. I was going to actually buy, because I want to do a video on it, the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games game. But the day that I was going to buy it, they announced that it was going to be on PlayStation now. So I was like, bet, let's go.
Glad you didn't buy it.
Yeah, me too. Because it's like $40. It's not like full price, but like still. New Assassin's Creed game was leaked and then immediately announced. Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be a live service video game. That's pretty much all we know about it. Not a whole lot.
Ooh, woo.
Ooh, woo. There was a Nintendo investors Q&A recently, and this is just a little fun thing. Oh, this is from IGN Africa. Interesting. I didn't even notice that. Wow. IGN has a lot of different... All right, fun fact. IGN has 2, 4, 6, 7... Another 7, like a lot. A lot of different branches. Sorry, can't do quick maths. What is that, 28? 28 different branches. This is from Investors Q&A from Nintendo. Let's take a look at what some of their favorite games are. Some of the favorite Nintendo heads their games are. So let's see, they interviewed, Shigeru Miyamoto was one of them. Okay, Miyamoto, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa, Senior Executive Officer Ko Shiota, Senior Managing Executive Shinya Takahashi, and Senior Executive Satoru Shibata. What are their favorite games? The person who asked it said, quote, "People holding important positions at Nintendo should at least like games. In order to get to know each director candidate as a person, I like to know about their favorite games." So, Furukawa says he plays most of Nintendo's first-party titles, as well as games from, quote, other companies, but specifically cites playing a lot of Hanafuda card game in Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. Miyamoto says he plays games that he himself created, so he hasn't been influenced much by games of other companies. That said, Miyamoto says... Yeah, look at this fucking guy. Miyamoto says earlier games that inspired him are Pac-Man and Tetris, and currently he and his wife are hooked on Pokemon Go.
I don't play any games, but I love Pokemon Go. Sure.
They call me a gamer. I play Pokemon Go. Miyamoto says, calls the Niantic game, quote, "a dream come true of playing a game with my whole family. That he and his wife and neighbors have been playing the game together for the past 2 years. He also jokes that the average age of Pokemon Go players in Japan is probably around 60. Shiota, who oversees Nintendo's hardware, says his background makes him gravitate towards physical products like Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which he plays with his kids. Shibata says he likes adventure games and recently finished the re-released Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir, and The Girl Who Stands Behind on the Nintendo Switch. Shibata also cites he loved Shin Onigashima, an adventure game released for the Famicom. And then Takahashi, who's in charge of first-party software, says that he has a soft spot for lesser-known adventure games from the Famicom era called Yuyuki. So there you go. That's what your favorite Nintendo executives like to play. Which makes me want to know, what is like other companies, like what do other like heads of the companies like to play? I feel like Phil Spencer's like, dude, I just like playing video games, man. Like, you know, you'll see me hop into a few matches of Halo 5 every once in a while. You know, I'll be playing like Mario Bros on my Switch. Like, I really fucking love God of War and its story. Like, I feel like he's the guy that would be like, yeah, dude, just like name a game. I've probably played it. I really like it.
Whenever you mentioned that, all I thought about was Cliffy B being like,
Oh
"My favorite game's Gears of War, you fuckers."
no, my favorite. Wow, what's the game that failed super hard?
I
That he just
yeah, I
recently
can't
made.
remember.
Oh
It was
shit,
a while ago, recent as in like 5, 10 years ago.
that's
Yeah,
gonna be bugging me.
because
That's gonna be bugging me.
that's all that I thought about.
Cliffy B
Like, oh, you guys don't know, you fucking idiots.
games. Oh yeah, I forgot he did Jazz Jackrabbit. Fuck. No, I don't want Unreal.
Research time.
Research time. What? Why the fuck did Cliffy B tweet a picture of that one astronaut with his dogs? Stop what
Oh,
you're doing and what?
Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers, yeah. It's like, yeah, my favorite game is Lawbreakers. You guys just didn't fucking understand, you losers. I put a lot of time and effort. My team was great. You know, it was way better than every other game on the market. Oh, Cliffy B. Just relax and understand that some games just suck and people don't play them. It's fine, man. You know
I
what else?
honestly don't remember anything about that, but I think it really just came out during a bad time.
It was set to be like n- not the Overwatch killer, but like the number 2 game to Overwatch.
Yeah, and I think there were just a lot of games that did the same thing at the
Yeah.
same time. Didn't Siege come out at the same time?
Yep. Right around the
Because
same time.
yeah, like you have games like that, and I think Fortnite was becoming more and more popular during that
Mhm.
too. Trying to
Fortnite,
think of other games that are
DayZ,
really similar.
PUBG.
Yeah,
Those were all coming out around the same time.
yeah, and this, from my understanding, just seemed kind of dated. Like
Yeah.
it, I wasn't really interested in like a Quake style shooter.
Mm-mm. A Quake style hero shooter too.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Oh, but
difficult to say.
Lawbreakers is the best fucking game ever made, though. To quote Cliffy
I
B.
fucking love Lawbreakers, you fucking idiots.
Fucking idiots. Uh, speaking of fucking idiots, um, Ninja is coming to a new game. Ninja's
Oh
coming to
jeez.
everyone's favorite cash cow if you're a YouTuber. Raid Shadow Legends. So
Hey,
Ninja, he looks like a Japanese. Actually, he looks more like a samurai than a ninja. So immediately right there, they fucked up. But yeah, he's got his katana. He's got his traditional, like samurai garb. He's got a wing. He's like one winged angel. So that's pretty neato. Um, to quote Mr. Blevins, I'm really excited to introduce Raid fans to my champion, which was designed to match how I've always pictured myself in an RPG. As a fan, as my fans know, I love the RPG genre, and see myself as a fantasy character with my own set of special skills and attributes is awesome. So yeah, hey, Raid
hey,
Shadow Legends, they kind of, I guess they're dead now. I mean, if they're getting
I'm
Ninja
so
on there,
confused.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess they're
that's
doing pretty well.
yeah. If they can fucking give YouTubers life-changing amount of cash to promote their promote their shitty game, their
Yeah,
shitty
I mean,
mobile game that's also on PC.
must be. I don't know. I've never played it to be honest.
I hear it's just another shitty, just generic mobile RPG with all the dumb predatory mobile game shit that every game has. You know, it's a wait fest unless you want to play. Speaking of wanting to play, let's talk about our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
I
That'd be
wish.
fucking hilarious. I wish. You know this game? There's a little game that some people have been playing, called Final Fantasy 14. I don't know if you've heard of it.
A little bit.
But yeah, people have been playing it. A lot of people have been playing it actually. Uh, much to the help of streamer and former World of Warcraft player Asmongold, because he hopped over onto Final Fantasy 14. Now I do believe that makes all of the big World of Warcraft streamers and YouTubers have jumped ship to Final Fantasy 14. Rest in peace, Cactar server, by the way. Oh my god. That's the server he went to, Asmongold went to. And that server has been nothing but crowded ever since. So, Asmongold, pretty big Twitch streamer, introducing a lot of people to Final Fantasy 14, and people want to, stream snipe and, hang out on his there and all that good stuff. So a lot of people have been playing and buying Final Fantasy 14. It actually just recently topped 47,000 players on Steam. Well, so many people, in fact, have been playing it that they sold out. The game has sold out.
Oh,
And
that's funny.
and I'm not talking about, like retail copies. No, I'm talking about on Square Enix's digital store. Like, there was a time you couldn't buy, it said sold out when you went to go buy any copy of Final Fantasy 14. A digital product. Sold out.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, hey, good for them. Final Fantasy 14 is definitely one of the best, if not the best MMO I've ever played. I'm glad to see them succeeding. Super Mario 6. Speaking of succeeding, hey, person who owned the Super Mario 64 cartridge definitely succeeded by getting a nice fat paycheck. So a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 recently sold at auction for $1.5 million, beating out an original copy of Legend of Zelda, which ended up selling for $870,000. People are going crazy, man, with this whole retro game shit, and it's gonna crash just like the comic books did, and the sports cards, and what's gonna happen with the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. Yeah, 1.5 million for a copy of Super Mario 64. Go ahead.
Pretty fucking wild.
Yeah. You know what else is pretty wild? One of my favorite game series. Well, it's not a series if it's just one game, but Judgment might be coming to an end after its next game, Lost Judgment. Apparently, there is some.
Somebody once told me the word. Sorry.
Yeah. There's some tension between Sega and the star of the game, Takayuya Kimura, his agency, his talent agency. There's apparently some just banging heads against each other. Because we may have noticed all the Yakuzis are on PC, but not the spin-off Yakuza, Judgment. Because Sega wants to put it on PC, but the talent agency doesn't want it on PC. Because they don't want Kimura being in a game that can be easily modded. And that's why Judgment may end after the second game. It's fucking bonkers and stupid, and I hate it. That's all I'm saying about that.
Fucking bonkers and stupid. I like it. But
yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah, that does sound pretty stupid.
Yeah. Hey, you like Super Smash Bros., right?
Heard of it?
So, how would you like Super Smash Bros., but with only the best characters ever? Well, that you can get.
Didn't they already do that in PlayStation All Stars?
Close. They tried to. But I'm talking about even more S tier characters. How about a game where you have people like SpongeBob, Reptar,
Oh, oh, jeez.
Patrick Star, fucking Powdered Toast Man, and um, fuck, what's his name? Uh, Nigel Thornberry, all in a game together. Well, I have a game for you, and it's called Nickelodeon. What's it called? Hold on, wait. Nickelodeon All Star Brawl. So, Game Mill, the company Game Mill, announced Tuesday Nickelodeon All Star Brawl. It's basically Smash Bros. It's Smash Bros. No hiding it. It's Super Smash Bros. When literally everyone is here. When it comes to like Nickelodeon characters. So let's take a look at the announcement. Like, let's take a look at who has been confirmed. So we have Lincoln Loud, Lucy Loud from the Loud House, Powdered Toast Man from Ren and Stimpy Show, Ublina from Ah Real Monsters, Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries, Helga from Hey Arnold, Zim from Invader Zim, Reptar from Rugrats, and Danny Phantom from Danny Phantom. The game also features characters from long-lasting franchises such as Michelangelo and Leonardo from TMNT, the three characters from Spang Boob, SpongeBob, Patrick Star, and Spang Boob himself. So now here's hoping we get they might have like Avatar apparently might be in it. But you know what? Maybe just maybe. Well, wait, was that Nickelodeon? Yeah. Jimmy Neutron and his dad. Here's hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm gonna be. What was Jimmy Neutron's dad? Was it like Lou?
Hugh.
Hugh. I would be a fucking Hugh main in a heartbeat. I'm gonna give people the pound down with Hugh. Then the last thing on the was Sony had a state of play. Talked about a few like games like Moss 2, Arcade Mageddon, like just a bunch of things. But one of the things I want to talk about was they talked one about a new Demon Slayer game, which is made by Sega, so it's not going to be like the standard combat, like the standard anime fighting game. But they talked a lot about just Death Stranding director's cut. So
Oh, jeez.
They're adding drop kicks to the game, mounted machine guns, and car racing. And also like new story missions too. So that's pretty cool.
I hope I get to play it.
Yeah, I hope so too. They didn't talk anything about it being on because they did a whole Q&A
PC or anything like that.
Yeah, they did a whole Q&A immediately after the state of play with the one of the heads of like marketing or PR for Kojima Productions. And yeah, he answered a whole bunch of questions. None of which pertain to if it's coming out on PC. So, I'm hoping it's coming out on PC. That's all that I have though.
Oh, jeez.
Thank God, finally.
Guess that's pretty much it.
That's a podcast. Let's quickly take a look at some of the releases coming out. Let's go up until the 19th. Oh, let's not go up until the 19th because there's nothing coming out until the night. Oh no, fuck it. Let's go up until the 19th. Hey, that's it. That's back to you guys. Nothing's coming out.
The 19th as in Monday.
Yeah, there's nothing coming out between now and Monday. What are some games that came out this past week? We had like a whole lot of nothing. F1 2021 came out yesterday. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD Remastered came out yesterday. Yay. It doesn't look like anything's really coming out anytime soon. Anyway, we're in that weird part of the summer where there's just nothing coming out. Nothing coming out right now. Everyone's telling everyone to get outside, play outside, so they don't make games.
Ooh, Wobbly Life came to Xbox One on the 16th.
What game?
It's an indie game that I've been playing with my girlfriend.
Hmm.
It's a really good couch co-op game. I believe it. I don't know if it came to Game Pass or not, but it's on Xbox One. It's cool. It's what do I relate it to? You get a little character and you go to your little objective and they're like, hey, do this little simple task, but
Oh,
because the physics are terrible, like or comically terrible, that it makes it just difficult. So it's
so
like one of those games.
it's kind of like an I Am Bread or
Yeah,
Octodad or
yeah, like an
Goat
open world.
Simulator.
Do yours. Yeah, similar to that, but you earn like little money to buy upgrades and
Huh.
little apparel and houses and stuff.
What game is it?
Wobbly Life
Hmm.
came to Xbox One on the 16th. It's a good way to waste time. It's
Interesting.
funny. It's not wouldn't be too bad to stream either, especially if you have friends to play it with. Like it's stupid.
I'll definitely
Um,
take a look at it.
that's yeah. Scrolling through that's really the only thing that stands out to me
Yeah.
that happened recently.
Yeah, the only thing is next month, the end of next month, that's when things start coming out again. Yeah.
American Horror Story season 1 came to FX on Hulu
Hell
on the
yeah.
15th. Yeah.
Let's go. American Horror Stories.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, there really
I think
isn't.
that's pretty much. Oh wait. Oh
Oh,
what?
wait.
Oh jeez. Beastars season 2 came out on Netflix 2 days ago on the 15th.
Wait. Shut the fuck up. Hold on. What came out 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago?
Beastars. The one about the lion and the bunny and or not lion, the wolf and the bunny and yeah,
God
that came
damn it.
out on 15th season 2 on Netflix.
So you're
You
saying
know
I
you
could have watched that instead of fucking Resident Evil Infinite Darkness?
yeah, I guess so.
God damn it. Fuck.
uh fucking Quiet Place Part 2 came to VOD on the 13th, so earlier this week. Oh jeez. Oh, SpongeBob, the one SpongeBob movie came to Blu-ray and DVD on the 13th as well. I don't what SpongeBob movie was that? Sponge Sponge on the Run? I what? I guess there's a new SpongeBob movie, but
This is
I
how you
haven't
find
seen
out?
it. Yeah, so that came out on the 13th. I'm gonna stop there. That's
Oh, I'm still upset about the fucking Beastars finding out here. No, that shows you how much you fucking watch Netflix. I don't watch
yeah. I never really watch it. Like I don't know. They don't really have too much content that appeals to me, and I
Netflix.
honestly don't understand what content appeals to me.
Yeah, it's just like it kind of just appears.
Yeah,
See, that's why I like Hulu because I know it has like Kitchen Nightmares. It's got Hell's Kitchen, and I have
that's all
Amazon
you
Prime
need.
Video for documental. Like
There you go.
I got everything I could possibly watch, everything I could ever possibly want to watch ever, right there.
Life is set.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could watch a, I could watch a man like push like a little rubber toy out from his foreskin like all day every day.
Oh,
I could watch two Japanese men flash their buttholes at each other to
oh,
see who does it faster. Like all
oh, that
day.
took me a second. Yeah, watch documental. Yes, I
It's
have to too.
it's a fucking
Watch
trip
season
and a half.
4.
Oh, that one's good. I wish I could get it working on here. I wish I could figure out my magic and get it to work on this so I could stream it on here because it's just I just want to hear your reactions, man. I want to
Oh, I
experience it with you.
bet it's pretty out there. Wouldn't doubt it.
All
Oh,
right.
jeez.
Well, that sounds like a
Someday.
podcast.
Righto. GG's.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing shit. YouTube.com/Jimmy Noodles Gaming, Twitch and Twitter, Jimmy Noodles GG. Mark, where can they find you?
Hey, not too bad. If you ever want to see my content, I don't know if I ever do it, but if you're interested, twitch.tv and YouTube at Mark2701. Hey, I guess that's a pot of the cast for us.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, you can
Thanks for
don't.
listening.
Thanks for listening. If you like content, don't forget to hit the follow on, give us a review on iTunes. Don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Level Unlock Podcast. Find us on all the social medias, Level Unlock Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at what, Mark?
That's a LVL Unlocked Pod. Uh, LVL Unlocked Pod.
There we go.
Hey,
Nice. Hey. Fucking
close
nice.
enough.
I hope you did a little fist bump. Like, nice. Got it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Did it. Nailed it. All right. Hey, thanks again for listening, everyone. We will see you back next week with something new.
Righto. Have a good one.
Bye.